Welcome, ladies and gents, to another BTNeanderthal video. I don't even know how to say my own name. How would I expect you guys to say it? So, today I'm going to be showing you how to build the Pit Zerker, or at least show you my build for the Pit Zerker. You know, this is just what I got set up. Ultimately, someday I'd like him to be at 800 MF, and with a Shamroon in his Shaco, and use gold wrap and a few other things, but you know, we're not there yet. So we have a few things to improve. This isn't single player right now. A few things to think about or worry about. This thing, in my opinion, is the best magic finder in the entire game. You can stack insane amounts of MF, alright, and you can go out. It's most commonly called the Pit Zerker because you'll see it a lot, or oftentimes in the pits, because that's where it really functions well. But you can take it anywhere, like, without major issues as well. But I'm only on players 1, okay, mind you, players 1. And again, I'm on pluggy single player. But you use grief for all your damage, right? Grief is where all your damage comes from, and I have 38, 365. Definitely could be improved. It's a 10 ED base, but our gear looks like this. We got a Mortal King helm with 2 perfect topaz in it for 88 MF. Then we have this crafted amulet, which is actually pretty decent. 10 FCR with 8 all resist and 34 MF, which is actually a pretty decent roll. So again, on the swap, we have the wizard spikes for a total of 110 MF, which gets us to the 105 breakpoint, which means we can teleport faster through different areas. And then when teleporting, the reason why I use wizard spike is because mana regen and more mana, because it's actually very expensive to teleport on a barbarian build like this. There's also another reason why I get insight. My mercenary using treachery and crown of thieves. You don't want him to be using anything with cold damage, otherwise the bodies might pop. Same with you. You don't want the bodies to pop into ice cubes and then you can't hork them and get your full efficiency worth on the monsters. Obviously Enigma, 6 Isted Crystal Sword. Chances, 39 is the best I could find so far. Like 5 39s, can't get those 40s. We also have 230 Naggles, a 40 Wartravs, 48 Wartravs, and then a Trang Belt. Okay, Trang Belt is because cannot be frozen. Now, again, Ravenfrost says that adds cold damage, and you don't want to be doing that. Cannot be frozen is extremely helpful, but again, I don't have the Shamroon, so that's why I'm using Trang Belt and IK instead of Gold Wrap and Cham Shaco for more damage and DR, etc, etc. You can farm more areas if you have that set up safer with the DR. But then I got, like, you know, stuff for hit recovery, and these are all like MF charms. This one's pretty sick. 319 7. Ultimately the charms you were looking for on this build are 320 7s. Those are the best charms you can get for this build, and you just get a bunch of those. But this one's really close. 40 Geeds, 1919, 8 Annie, a 2013 Barb Torch, and again, like we said, on swap we got that the Wizzies for teleporting. Then Merc setup is like this. It's just for extra gold find. Also, it's his gold find setup too, but I mean, he's mostly there to just give you mana, and sometimes he'll give you extra drops. Resistances, not a big deal. We're on players 1, and we also have Howl, so scare the monsters away. You're not getting hit very often, or you shouldn't be getting hit very often, you know. So like, as long as you're using Howl correctly, like, you don't really need resistance. And on swap you have a bunch of resist, obviously. Make sure, okay, I know I've heard people say this in the past, and it's not right. You don't want to do this. So when you kill a monster, you don't want to hork or find item with your wizard spikes, because it's faster. Alright, you don't want to do that. It is faster, however, you want to have the extra MF when you do it. Alright, I have heard people actually doing that, so let's not do that, and let's actually use the MF that you have on your character. That's just, you know, probably most of you knew that, but there are people I know that have messed that up before. So again, with this build right now, we are running 766 MF. Again, I want to hit it up to 800 sometime in the future, or around there, but we still need some gear. But I found a lot of stuff with this character in the pits. My most recent find for my grail was actually the unique Zerker shield dragon scale. That was a pretty cool find. Today, actually, we found Mara's, as you can see, Mara's Tomb Reaver, 2 sockets, unfortunately, 318 Bone Hue, BK Tribal Guardian, Blood Ravens, like, we found Lycander's Aim too, like, we found some crazy stuff. So, it's definitely a really sick build. I'll show you my skill tree in a second here. So we have Warcries. This is what it's looking like. I put 1 point into Warcry because I like being able to stun monsters if I want to. Like, for example, you know, just like quickly stun them so I'm not getting hit. You can also use a leap or things like that as well. You know, howl. You know, because sometimes when you howl monsters away, they come back even when they're scared because they feel like cornered and then they won't attack you. You can just stun them if they come back. And then you can continue killing the target that you are trying to target. And then we put... So the main thing is you're going to want to put points in the Zerk. Concentrate is actually for magic immunes that you might come across. But Berserk is the main thing here. And then the synergies Howl and Shout. Howl, Shout, you max those out. I only have 1 point in the battle orders. 1 point in a battle command, and then 1 point in the war cry. And battle cry, you can't actually use those. 20 points into sword mastery, 1 point in your 1 point wonders, I like to call them. Natural res, increased speed, iron skin, increased stamina. And yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. I have my extra points going to item find. I'm only a level 91 barbarian, so like, more levels I get, like I could put more into item find or battle orders, up to you. But yeah, I mean that's that. It's not like too crazy for a too complicated on your skills. And then you just put enough points into strength to wear your gear. I don't have to do that much because I have Enigma here. You know, it gives you a bunch of strength. And then 136 dex for my grief, you know, so I can actually wear grief, and then the rest into vitality. Again, then you just howl stuff, and say the stuff comes back, you just stun it, and then hork with your swords. You could also use a dual-ist Alibaba for like early starters, but it's the poor man's version of a 6-ist sword. You can also use a variation of this build. I was actually running earlier today for gold finds. Pretty much the same thing, except you run, instead of a 6-isted crystal sword, you run a 6-lemmed crystal sword, and run like gold find instead of magic finds. So, and then you get a bunch of gold. Like, I've gotten up to 1.2 million gold from Travancore run on players 1. So, and then today I just broke my record for all-time low as well. So RNG, which was 270,000 gold, pretty bad. And that's like an all-time low for me. But so apparently for me it ranges 1.25 million to like 250k or 70k or whatever it was. It was not very much though, but on average it's usually like 750k, and I have like I have my like gold wrap and extra 6-socket lem sword that I swap out for grief and Trang for when I actually do the item finding on the monsters. And that gear might look like this. I'll show you real quick. Show you real quick here. 6 lem, 6 lem, I actually use Hodos for BO, so I can actually, like, you know, up my life a little bit because they hurt a little bit more. The build is more meant for, you know, just getting that maximum gold. This pair of boots is actually insane for farming Travancore. Almost as good as you ever want it to be. So gold wrap, and these are all 10 gold fine, and then we got, you know, as close to perfect geeds as you can get. I got a 159. You want 160 if you can. So again, that's for gold. Gold is for gambling. If you're not aware, gold is for gambling. Gold is for, like, you know, repairs and things like that. Mostly for gambling and crafting certain specific items and all that stuff. Because maybe you guys are like, why would you ever want gold? But that's why. You could gamble circlets and things like that. There's also a damage build you can run with Zerker. You can kill D-Clone, you can run Chaos. There's a bunch of builds for the Barbarian. If you want to see more builds, let me know in the comments. Like, I can present these builds. If you want to see the gold barb in action, I can show you the gold barb in action. If you want to see me kill a D-Clone, I can show you killing a D-Clone. If you want to see Chaos run, players 8 viable builds for, you know, Bale or a Zerker version for Chaos, like, you know, I can show you those things. But definitely leave a comment in the comments below. Leave a rating and all that stuff. Feel free to sub if you appreciate this content, and yeah, thank you all for stopping in. You guys are beasts. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Slamming.
Slamming.